Good morning. So today I'm going to be testing a clean cosmetics line. It's called RMS Beauty, and it all started with this little pre-packed kit. It's like the summer bronzer. Comes with 3 products: a blush, a bronzer, and a lip color. It's called the Sunset Collection, and I think I got this online somewhere. Probably one of those ads while I was on Instagram, or actually I've known about this line because there's a local boutique that carries this brand and has for quite some time, Dana over at Good Neighbor. So she has the RMS Beauty in stock, and you know how I like to support and shop local. So check them out and she can help you select some shades. But in the meantime, I just wanted to run through what I ordered and essentially how to do a 5-minute face. So after a minute of talking, here we go. They have this lovely, it's called Revoke Radiance Locking Primer. And I really like this one, actually. I've used it a couple of times now. It has this really great way of dispensing where you turn it, the little pump lid comes up, and then I'm just doing 2 pumps. It kind of has a pinkish hue. It's great because then you can seal it back down. That way, if it's in your drawer rolling around, it's not gonna get opened accidentally. So just get everything out of the way. So we're gonna apply this primer, and I kind of do what's called a press push method. Do this a lot with my essential oils and oil blends, beautifying oil blends that I'm putting on my skin day and night, which we can talk about later. But the whole reason to do primer is that it preps the skin for foundation and for your makeup to stay. So you want to just give it a little bit of time after you press it into the face for it to set, like 30 seconds to a minute. Ooh, I put the rest on my hands because they're always dry. Oh my gosh. All right. And then I'm going to be trying their cream foundation, which comes in a jar. It's interesting. And I think the challenge here will be figuring out how to get enough of this out and not too much out, of course, because I think most of us use way too much of our products and we can use a little less. I'm using this foundation brush from MAC, and I'm just gonna dip it on the inside. I mean, if I had a spatula, I probably would scoop some out, put it on my thumb, but this will work. I'm the only one using this, so I don't need to be worried about sanitary measures. So when you're using a brush, I actually got into this debate with my sister, who I had her over to test some products, and I saw her apply a foundation where she just put it in her hands, probably like a lot of women do, and rubbed it into her skin, and I was all, oh my gosh. So you're basically, when you're doing that, a lot of rubbing, you are essentially rubbing it away. So I know it sounds kind of funny, but what you want to think about when you're doing this is like you're painting a wall, or actually I should say a canvas, and you're creating an even toned canvas for you to lay down colors. So a brush like this is really key to doing that. So this is application. So I'm just being sure to get it in all the little cracks and crevices, carefully go over the top of my lids. They tend to be a little red, and for sure under my eyes. I'm gonna push this all around, and then found this really great brush that works so fast. So this helps me do a really quick face in the morning. Also, I think I got off Instagram, such a sucker, but no, this was a good purchase. It just fits in your hand perfectly. It's really, really tight. So it's got these little corners, these little pointed corners. So this works really great. Look at how big this is. So I'm just gonna be working towards the middle of my face, around the edges, just blending that through. So there is a little bit of put on, take off, right? Just to be sure that you don't have too much on, especially moving into this hairline. Mine's pretty thin, so we wanna make sure if the color isn't matched exactly right, because I'm in between seasons, that I've moved it around pretty well. Okay, that's the foundation. It feels nice. There's a little bit of luminosity to it, which is always nice. As we age, we need to look a little more luminous, because that's one of the things that we miss is our young, healthy glow. Here's how to get it back. So they also had another product that I thought I would give a whirl. I'm not big for a lot of like highlight product on the face, but I thought that this could be fun to try. So I'm gonna be using it's a smaller, tighter foundation brush. I think this is the, gosh, I can barely read that, it's so tiny. It is a, okay. This is a Radiance Base. I think it says Master Radiance Base. Looks like that. It's kind of golden, see, and creamy. Ooh, scary. So be careful with this. I'm gonna just tap that again. Oh, little spatula. It does come with this little spatula, so I'm gonna get a little bit on there. All right, now it's just on my, there. That makes it a little bit easier to get onto a brush. Oh yeah, because then you can control how much you're putting onto the brush. So you're always gonna use a highlighter on the high points of the face. So in the areas that you wanna have some natural luminosity, usually it's just up around this cheekbone area, down the front of the nose. I like to do a little bit on the top of the lip. Yeah. It doesn't take very much. This stuff is a little bit more firm, so it definitely needs a brush or dabbing of fingertips to put it on. All right, and then usually what I like to do is a type of, this is their bronzer. It's a cream bronzer. It's called Burnt Tea Bronzer. I'm gonna use a tiny little brush. See, these little lighter colored brushes like this, that means that they can handle a cream or a liquid versus a brush like this, which would be for a powder. So this is pretty tiny. I'm just gonna dab that into the pot. And then when you're doing contouring, you are always doing the areas you want to see kind of sink in a little bit to create, let's see if I can do this so you can see it. Yeah. See, it's not even blended in how that's making my cheekbone area kind of more prominent. And then I just go around the edges just for a little bit more of a sun-kissed, like I've been out in the garden or, you know, I went for a little walk without a hat, no, but that I got a little bit of sun exposure. So we got that on. I tend to like to blend those kinds of things out to make sure they're not too, actually it's fine, I think, for what, that's really perfect. I think that'll be good. So the next thing I'm gonna do is use their this is their powder bronzer that came in the kit. Super nice, has a mirror, which doesn't make it recyclable, unfortunately, but you know, you can use this compact to travel with in your makeup kit, and that's a good way to reuse it and not just stick it into the environment. So this is a powder brush. Now it's got this kind of fan shape for a reason. It's gonna be easy to use the edge and the flat at the same time. So I'm loading that brush and then just taking it along these edges again. I'm gonna be a little more aggressive and come down a little bit more. I'm up here in Nevada City for a few days and trying to get the last of my river fun. Okay, down the nose a little bit just to emphasize. And I always do this little bit of the jaw because we want to emphasize a little bit more of a square jaw. Remember, anytime that you put something darker, wherever it is that it's darker, contour, highlight, low light, right? It's going to, sun's getting in my face. It's gonna just make that area of your face recede. So be really careful. This brush is great. It really does just get enough on and blend at the same time. Guess I'll do a whole segment on brushes because there are some essentials for you to get your face on fast. Okay, time for blush, and this is their cream blush that came in the Sunset kit. This is a little bit kind of reddy, pinky. And again, this is gonna have to be applied also with a type of brush that can handle a cream. This one is a hybrid. It's got an angle, I like that. So we're just gonna get it in, dink dink. And then we're just going with the flat of that brush onto your natural apples. You can always smile. Neat, neat. There it is. And get that on. I tend to like to emphasize my cheeks. It's one of my best attributes. Oh, yeah, we're getting some sun in here now. Okay, oh, that might be better. So, just trying to give you an idea of actually what has luminosity and what is, see, I look like I have a little sheen. So, moving on. So I'm an eyebrow person. I've had my brows tattooed. I've had them microbladed, and I still have to fill them in a little bit. So kind of stuck with my MAC pencil, which is great. It's like a fine liner, so it has, you know, not too much, just enough. And all I'm doing really is filling in a little bit of the shape because it's starting to fade now. These microbladed brows I've actually had like 4 years, which is unusual. But they seem to be sticking, and I just need to do a little bit more to them. So once I have that on, then it's just making sure that I get the excess off. Okay, all right, and the last thing that I'm gonna put on is they have a really nice kind of cream luminous eyeshadow. I'm gonna try, it's in a pot too. And that one, again, you know, tap, tap, because the more you rub, the more it's going to disappear. Can we see that? Yes, okay. It's nice. It's just light. These come in different shades. This is just kind of a golden hued one. All right, next steps. I tend to do a bit of concealer kind of last, just in case. Well, I'm not using powder today, but there are times when powder has fallen down and then I have a big dark raccoon look. So that's a Cosa concealer. I really like that one. It stays put nicely, and it actually has some great, it's not so much luminous as, I don't know, it's just unusual. It's got a nice reflection to it. Okay, and this time I'm using this like very sharp brush because I need to get like up in there. And then I just drag it out kind of that same path that my highlighter would take. Okay, looking pretty natural, which is what I want for today anyway, and a 5-minute face. I'm going to the river to have some sun and fun. So I'd already put on my SPF 40, and actually, I don't think there's much else to do. So the last thing to put on, they have this really pretty lip colors that come in these nice little tubes. This is like a good size too, so you can potentially use this whole thing. I mean, how many of you guys, raise your hand, have ever worked through a whole tube of lipstick? I think I have, like, I can count on one hand in my lifetime. Either I get tired of it or the season changes and I haven't used it enough, but in COVID for sure, lipsticks have completely changed. I feel like it's not about so much having it wear all day like I would like it to do in the past. Now it's more about, it's gonna be under a mask most of the time. I want there to be moisture so that my lips feel good, but yeah, there's just no point in like putting on lip liner and lipstick like I used to go into the salon. And I did that for a reason, because it would stay on pretty much all day and I only had to touch it maybe once after I ate. So nowadays it's not really relevant, and I'm just looking for something to condition, add a little color, and that's it. So this is a really nice one. It came in that sunset kit. It's kind of it's a good hybrid between a gloss and a lipstick. So it feels moisturizing and it has a little bit of color. All right, what you guys think? In the comments, I'll leave the links of the product line website and the website for Dana's store on Piedmont Avenue, Oakland, so you can check that out if you want to go in and see it. She'll be great at helping you navigate. Otherwise, this is a 15-minute face, lots of explaining, but you can do it in 5. And we'll talk about the tools, links below. Thanks for watching.